Have you ever stared into the abyss of your deepest struggles, the heart-wrenching pain, and a silent scream echoed within? Why me? Could I have possibly chosen this? The answer isn't just surprising, it holds a shocking truth that could redefine your entire existence. Together, we're about to journey beyond the veil to understand why your very soul might have embraced these intense challenges, not as a cruel fate, but as a precisely chosen catalyst for your most profound awakening and liberation. This isn't just ancient mysticism. It's a perspective that resonates with countless near-death experiences and profound spiritual accounts. The scars you carry might just be the roadmap to your soul's ultimate triumph. Do you feel that even in your darkest moments, there's a deeper, almost forgotten knowing about your path? It's a question that can haunt the quiet hours, a weight that settles heavily on the heart when life's storms rage. Why me? Why this particular pain, this seemingly relentless challenge? If you've felt this, know that you are not alone. This ache for understanding is one of the most profoundly human experiences we share. The idea that our soul, the eternal wise core of our being, could consciously select a life filled with hardship, loss, or loneliness often feels like a contradiction, perhaps even an unbearable thought when pain is our most immediate reality. If my soul seeks light and love, why would it script a journey through such profound shadows? Yet, across cultures and throughout time, ancient wisdom traditions, from the introspective paths of the East to the more esoteric schools of the West, have hinted at a larger design, a pre-existent consciousness that actively participates in the orchestration of our earthly sojourns. These traditions suggest that the soul's objectives often extend far beyond our human desire for immediate comfort or ease. So, we must ask, with an open heart and a willingness to explore the uncomfortable, could it be that what feels like a random, cruel twist of fate is actually a meticulously chosen experience, designed by a wiser, broader aspect of you, for a purpose that is, as yet, veiled from our everyday sight? Consider this. Accounts from deep hypnotic regression, like those documented by Dr. Michael Newton in Journey of Souls, consistently reveal souls discussing their pre-life choices, including difficult circumstances, with a surprising level of acceptance and purpose. Far from mere fantasy, this is a recurring pattern emerging from thousands of experiential reports, suggesting a deeper layer to our understanding of life, suffering, and the soul's intricate path. Let's reframe karma. For many, the word itself conjures images of cosmic retribution, a stern judge tallying our misdeeds. But what if karma is less about punishment and more about profound, personalized learning? It's not a cosmic vending machine dispensing punishments for past wrongs. Think of it more like your soul's sophisticated GPS, constantly recalculating routes based on past journeys and the spiritual destinations it yearns to reach. Those destinations being deeper wisdom, energetic balance, and a more expansive, unconditional love. Karma, in its essence, is about the soul's continuous journey to learn and integrate essential experiences. Some of these lessons are gentle whispers, learned through joy and ease. Others, however, seem to require a more immersive, sometimes challenging, dive into the full spectrum of human experience. These are the lessons that shape us at our core. Modern psychology now recognizes a phenomenon called post-traumatic growth, the remarkable capacity of individuals to experience significant positive psychological change following adversity. People can emerge from deep struggle with a newfound appreciation for life, stronger relationships, a deeper sense of personal strength, and often a profound spiritual shift. Could this be a faint echo, a psychological reflection of how souls might intentionally utilize challenging karmic setups for accelerated spiritual development? Think of figures in history, or perhaps even people you've known, who, after navigating immense hardship, perhaps a devastating loss, a chronic illness, or a profound betrayal, emerged with an extraordinary capacity for compassion, an unshakable inner peace, or a fierce dedication to alleviating the suffering of others. Was their struggle merely an unfortunate series of events, or could it have been a crucible, a fiery forge that alchemized their pain into immense spiritual strength and wisdom? If karma is indeed this intricate system of learning, this personalized compass guiding our growth, how then does your soul, from that place of expanded awareness before birth, actually decide which masterclass series in life to enroll in? And what if the most challenging, even heartbreaking classes are the ones that offer the most transformative graduation into a higher state of consciousness? What karmic lesson do you feel is most prominently playing out in your life right now? And what if its very intensity is a measure of its profound importance to your soul's unfolding journey? Imagine a state beyond our everyday awareness, a realm of pure consciousness often described in spiritual traditions and detailed in fascinating accounts from those who've undergone deep spiritual experiences or regressions. This is the interlife, the sacred space between earthly sojourns. It's here, in a state of profound clarity and connection to Source, that the soul, free from the illusions of a single lifetime, reviews its vast journey and begins to architect its next chapter. This isn't a passive process. With the gentle guidance of wise, loving spiritual mentors, or what some call a council of elders, the soul undertakes a life review. This isn't a judgment, but an impartial examination of past actions, lessons learned, karmic patterns that still require resolution, and the soul qualities it now yearns to cultivate or express more fully. Several key elements drive these pre-birth choices. Primarily, it's the soul's innate desire for specific lessons. Perhaps it's the deep embedding of unconditional love, the forging of unwavering inner strength in the face of fear, the true mastery of forgiveness, or the profound peace found in detachment from worldly outcomes. Another critical factor is the resolution of karmic dynamics. Souls often carry energetic imprints or unfinished business from previous encounters. In this interlife space, agreements might be made with other souls, often members of our soul group, to re-engage in the next life in specific roles. These soul contracts are designed not as punishments, but as opportunities to heal old wounds, balance energies, and offer mutual growth through shared experiences, whether those roles are of loving support or significant challenge. Some souls, often described in spiritual literature as more seasoned or advanced in their evolutionary journey, don't merely accept difficult paths. They seem to consciously opt for them. It's as though they choose an accelerated evolution track, a lifetime that might appear packed with intense, sometimes overwhelming, learning opportunities. Why? Precisely because these very challenges offer the chance for rapid spiritual expansion and the integration of profound wisdom. Consider a metaphor from our own world. A highly skilled artisan doesn't shy away from complex materials or intricate designs. They embrace the challenge because it hones their mastery and allows for the creation of something truly extraordinary. Similarly, a courageous soul might choose a steep climb in a particular lifetime, knowing the terrain will be tough, but the vista from the summit, the expanded consciousness and spiritual attainment, will be unparalleled. This often involves the courageous choice to transmute particularly dense or heavy karmic patterns. These could be personal residues from past choices, or even an agreement to help heal and clear karmic imprints carried through a family lineage or a collective group. These are the souls who, in a sense, volunteer to dive into the trenches of human experience, not to suffer needlessly, but to be agents of transformation, bringing light and awareness into areas of profound shadow. This brings us to the beautiful and poignant concept of wounded healers. Those individuals who have themselves endured immense suffering, navigated the depths of human pain, and emerged not broken, but with a profound capacity to guide and support others through similar darkness. Their empathy is not theoretical, it's forged in the fire of their own experience. Could it be that their soul, in its pre-birth wisdom, chose this arduous path, in part, to become such a beacon of hope and understanding for others? What if your struggle is, in fact, preparing you for a unique form of service you can't yet fully envision? Many mystics and spiritual traditions, from the profound writings of St. John of the Cross to the insights of modern depth psychology, describe a pivotal, often agonizing, spiritual crisis known as the dark night of the soul. It's essential to understand this is not a divine punishment, nor is it a sign of spiritual failure. Rather, it is often a sacred and deeply transformative process of purification, a necessary passage for the soul on its journey toward greater light and union. The experience of the dark night can be marked by feelings that many who are suffering deeply will recognize: a sense of profound apathy, a loss of meaning in things that once brought joy, an acute feeling of isolation, even from the divine, and the disquieting sensation that the very foundations of one's life are crumbling. It is as if the old you, the familiar ego self, is undergoing a kind of death, while the new, more authentic soul self has not yet fully emerged into conscious awareness. Yet embedded within this often terrifying darkness lies a profound hidden purpose. The dark night is not a breakdown, but a breakthrough in disguise. It is a divine mechanism that compels the soul to confront its deepest shadows, its most cherished illusions, its false attachments, and the very constructs of the ego that have kept it bound. It is a stripping away, sometimes layer by painful layer, of everything that is not truly you, everything that obstructs the full radiance of your soul. Imagine a vast ancient forest that has become overgrown with dense dead underbrush, choking out new life. A wildfire, though devastating on the surface, serves a crucial ecological role. It clears away what no longer serves, enriches the very soil with its ashes, and creates the fertile ground from which new, vibrant life can emerge with even greater strength, resilience, and beauty. The dark night of the soul is that internal soul fire, a purging that makes way for a more authentic and luminous existence. Those who have navigated this profound passage, and many have, often report emerging on the other side with an unshakable inner peace, a renewed and deepened sense of connection to Source, and a clarity of purpose they may have never known before. The very pain becomes the catalyst for an extraordinary spiritual upgrade. If you feel you are currently walking through such a dark night, take a breath and know this: you are not alone in this experience, and this intense period of seeming desolation is often a powerful indication that your soul is on the very cusp of a major spiritual expansion, preparing to birth a new level of consciousness. So, after exploring these deep spiritual concepts, the soul's drive for growth, karma as a teacher, the pre-birth choices for accelerated learning, and even the profound crucible of the dark night, what is the shocking truth we've been journeying towards? It's this: your soul, from its place of expanded awareness and timeless wisdom, didn't select your current challenges out of cosmic oversight, naivety, or certainly not as a punishment. It chose it from a place of immense courage, profound wisdom, and an unconditional love for its own ultimate evolution and unfolding. The shocking truth is that your deepest pain, your most isolating struggle, is not a random affliction or a mark of your failure. Instead, it can be seen as a testament to your soul's incredible ambition, its unwavering commitment to learn, to grow, and to master the very essence of what it means to be a divine being having a human experience. This earthly life, with all its challenges, is the very arena your soul meticulously selected to forge its divine qualities. Perhaps that relentless struggle is honing your resilience until it becomes an unbreakable armor. Maybe that profound loneliness is carving out within you a vast space for an empathy that can bridge any divide. Perhaps that feeling of being pushed to your limits is actually awakening an inner strength, an unshakable foundation you never knew you possessed. The truly transformative shift comes when we begin to move from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to courageously inquiring, What is my soul seeking to learn, to heal, to master, or to express through me, as me, in this very experience? This isn't about denying or spiritually bypassing the very real human pain. It is about courageously seeking the sacred meaning, the hidden purpose, embedded within it. This perspective can bring an incredible sense of empowerment and even liberation. Your journey, no matter how arduous or confusing it may feel right now, is not a mistake. It can be understood as a sacred contract, a challenging curriculum that your soul undertook with open eyes. And the most profound part? You are never truly alone in this. You have the inner resources, the subtle support of your guides, and the inherent, unquenchable wisdom of your own soul to navigate it. Often, the very intensity of your chosen path simply mirrors the magnificence of the spiritual gold, the unique wisdom, compassion, and strength that your soul is in the process of alchemizing. Understanding these deep spiritual truths is one thing. Integrating them into the fabric of our daily lives, especially when we are in the midst of pain, is another. So, how can we begin to shift from feeling like a victim of our circumstances to becoming a conscious, courageous voyager on our soul's chosen path? It starts with small, intentional steps. Here's a simple yet profound tool you can begin to use today, a practice I call the soul's perspective inquiry. When a particular challenge feels overwhelming, when the ache of, "Why me?" arises first, just pause. Take a conscious breath, allowing yourself to be present with whatever you're feeling without judgment. Then, gently, internally, ask these questions. If my eternal wise soul chose this specific experience for my highest growth and learning, what particular strength is it trying to awaken within me right now? What old pattern, what limiting belief is it lovingly inviting me to see and perhaps release? What quality of love, understanding, or compassion is it calling me to embody more fully through this? Allow yourself to listen for the answers that arise from within. They may not be grand, dramatic revelations at first. Sometimes it's a subtle feeling, a quiet knowing, a single word. Jot down any intuitive answers, insights, or the feelings that surface without analyzing or criticizing them. This isn't about finding one definitive, grand reason for your struggle immediately, but about initiating a dialogue with your deeper self, shifting your internal posture from resistance to a gentle, compassionate curiosity. Alongside this inquiry, practice conscious self-compassion. Actively acknowledge the human part of you that feels the pain, the frustration, the fear. It's real, and it deserves to be honored. Then, in the next breath, gently acknowledge the soul part of you, that vast, eternal aspect that, from a place of wisdom, chose this journey. Try holding both of these realities within your heart simultaneously. You might even say to yourself silently or aloud, "I honor my human feelings in this moment, and I choose to trust my soul's underlying wisdom and purpose on this path." This practice doesn't magically erase pain, but it can profoundly lessen the suffering around the pain. It does this by connecting you to a deeper sense of agency, meaning, and purpose. It's about transforming your experience from being a passive recipient of hardship into an active, conscious, and empowered voyager, navigating the rich and sometimes turbulent waters of your soul's epic journey. Remember, as you navigate the landscape of your life, that the struggles you face, the very challenges that may have brought you here seeking answers, are not random curses or signs of a flawed existence. They are, from this deeper spiritual perspective, potentially sacred assignments, intricate lessons meticulously chosen by the bravest, most expansive part of you, your eternal soul, for the sake of profound spiritual alchemy. There's an ancient understanding, echoed across many mystical paths, that our deepest wounds are not flaws to be hidden or sources of shame. Instead, they can become sacred crucibles, the very places where the raw, often painful material of our human experience is transformed into the radiant gold of our soul's unique wisdom, its boundless compassion, and its unshakable strength. As you move forward from this moment, carry this question with you, not as a burden, but as a gentle inquiry. Looking back at one past challenge, one significant struggle that you have already navigated and overcome, what is one piece of spiritual gold? Perhaps a newfound strength, a crucial insight, a deeper capacity for love or forgiveness that you can now clearly see it gifted you? If this perspective, this exploration into the soul's courageous choices, offers even a glimmer of solace, a new way to view your own remarkable journey, please honor that resonance by liking this video. Subscribe to Mystic Sages for more deep dives into the soul's mysteries and the ancient wisdom that illuminates our path. And please share this video with anyone whose heart might be aching, anyone who might need to hear this message of hidden purpose and the incredible courage of their own soul. In the comments below, if you feel moved to, share one word that describes the spiritual gold you found, or are perhaps now beginning to seek through your current challenges. Let's support each other on this profound, alchemical path of becoming.